Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Well, Zaron Burnett.
What's up, Elizabeth Dutton? I missed you. How you been?
I'm all right.
Good to hear it.
You know what's ridiculous?
Oh, girl, do I.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so Chuck Berry, the rock and roll legend, he once performed so poorly at a show that it was considered a crime. Yeah, in 2013, the rock and roll legend was in Finland for a show, but he did such a piss poor job that the crowd took legal action. Now, when I say legal action, what I mean is under Finnish law, you can basically get your money back. If a crowd deems that the performance was subpar, the concert promoters are on the hook. They legally are required to give back 50% of the money spent on the tickets. So basically, if you go to a show in Finland, you're only in it for half.
Yeah.
You can always be like, nope, this was bad, I'm out. And so a large part of the crowd did to Chuck Berry. I don't know.
Well, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You want to know what else is ridiculous?
Oh, I always do.
A fire chief / low-level drug dealer who wears rose-colored glasses.
Oh, wait, all at once? This is all one person?
All at once.
I like this.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast. Did you know that? About absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous. All right. I've said before that I've never been to Florida.
And we've talked about correcting that.
Yeah. One place I would like to eventually see there is Key West.
It's dope. The southernmost point of America.
Exactly. I'm not like a big Ernest Hemingway fan in any way, shape, or form. So that's not the attraction.
The house is cool, though. It has a bunch of cats.
That's what I'm saying. It seemed... Oh, his house?
Yeah, it has a bunch of cats. No, you would like the cats.
Anyway, it seems just like an interesting place.
Key West
does. I like spaces at the edge of continents.
Yes, the sandy shifting edge of a continent.
Yeah, like the fringe invites fringe characters.
Ooh, yeah, good point.
From what I understand, Key West is full of absolute characters.
Yes,
yeah.
I can confirm.
Have you ever been there?
A bunch. I went there as a kid and loved it because the way, like, when you're a kid, you look and you see adults acting like a spectacle. I was like, this is amazing. Can we come back here? And I just loved it because you have to go for a really long time. If you're driving from Georgia, you have to go all the way down through Florida. And then when you get to the end of Florida, you get to Miami, you think that's really close. Then you have to drive through all of the Keys. You're over these little low bridges. And as a kid, you're like, is this road ever going to end?
Yeah.
And then when it finally does end, you're in Key West, which is like an amusement park for adults.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I really do.
I love that. So I got a tip about today's story from a gentleman named Christopher over on Instagram. I'm going to tell you the story of a man with terrible fashion sense, horrible criminal instincts, and perhaps one of the most unfortunate names you've ever heard.
I was thinking that this was me you were talking about until you got to the most unfortunate name. I was
you have
like,
a beautiful name.
Yeah.
I need you to picture it.
Oh.
I need you to close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
It's September 9th, 1975, Key West, Florida. It's morning time. You're out jogging in your short shorts, Zaron.
As one does.
You're just living your best life. I think you're probably jogging topless.
As one does.
You know, as an aside, I feel like men hung out in public with no shirts on, or as I like to say, topless, more often in the 70s.
Even into the 80s. That's when they got the half shirt. That's when it started. They're like, let's put on...
like, we'll just get halfway. Well, they did like yard work, exercise, grilling, walking around a county fair, topless.
Going for a job interview.
Washing the car. Yeah. So anyway, there you are. Jogging topless down United Street in Key West.
Late for a job interview.
It's a residential street lined with palm trees and modest mid-century bungalows in sort of muted neutrals and pastels.
Oh, yes.
As
a lot
you'd
of
expect.
salmon-colored things.
You stop to tie your shoe and you see a man exiting his house. The house is pink, salmon-colored, which isn't uncommon. You see into the house through the open front door, and you notice that both the walls and the carpet are red.
It's uncommon.
It's a bold choice.
Yeah, it's very bold.
Gold mirrors hang on the wall. The man, he's wearing a red leisure suit.
So just replete with what one might say bold choices.
It is so delightfully bold. His neck, wrists, hands dripping in gold and little tiny gems. And he's wearing glasses. The lens is pink.
Oh, man.
Literal rose-colored glasses on this guy. So, like, this outfit, he's just heat radiating off of him.
My new hero. Yeah, go on.
You know who this dude is, topless jogger Zaron. Everyone in town knows who this guy is. He's the fire chief.
Naturally.
Dressed like a fire hydrant. He walks out to the street to get into his car. The car isn't red. It's bright green. It's a bright green Cadillac Eldorado.
Okay. That's a big car.
It has official city plates. It's a city vehicle.
It's a city Eldorado.
Yeah. And there are 2 stickers on the trunk. One is the seal of the Key West Fire Department.
Okay. Keep it real.
Right next to it is an image of Santa Barbara, Saint Barbara, the patron saint of firefighters.
I was going to ask.
Barb.
Thank you. Barb.
Painted in red on the car, El Jefe. I'm serious. El Jefe, the chief. He's amazing.
Yes,
This cat's amazing. So just as he's getting into his car, 2 cars come like screaming down the road from down the block. They screech to a halt, and they're on either end. He can't move this Cadillac.
It's a big car.
Yeah.
He needs room to move.
Federal agents, besuited federal agents jump out of the car, and they tell him, like, freeze. He's startled, the man in the rose-colored glasses. He starts fumbling around with his hands, and he pulls off a diamond-encrusted pinky ring and throws it at the guys.
Wait, what?
Just throws it.
That's his protest?
You can't see me fumbling. I'm doing a version
nice pantomime,
of it.
by the way.
I am. So then he throws the pinky ring, and then he turns and runs. But he's immediately tackled and cuffed by the agents.
So he's using that as a distraction?
Yeah.
Okay.
You, Zaron, have just witnessed the arrest of none other than Bum Farto.
Get out. No, that's not his name. His name is not Bum Farto.
The man's name is Bum Farto.
Did he change it? His mama named him Bum Farto?
Well, let me back up a bit and I can explain this exquisite creature.
Okay.
So Joseph Farto was born in Key West in 1919 to Spanish immigrants.
All right.
The Fartos. And a lot of times people with this last name would amend it to Fardo or Pardo in order to kind of blend. The Fartos are like, we own this.
They're proud.
They're tooting it up. His parents, they're tooting their own Farto horn.
They're not trying to make a big stink about the weird name.
No, not at all. The parents owned a fancy restaurant in town, and but they later fell on hard times and they had to sell the place.
Oh. Okay.
Now, who bought it? A fella named Joe Russell.
Oh, should I know him?
No.
Is he famous?
He sold illegal booze to Ernest Hemingway and his cats during Prohibition, and they became friends.
Oh, that's one does.
Chummy. He bought the Farto restaurant. Well, it was called the Victoria Restaurant, is what they named it.
Okay.
But he bought it from the Fartos at the corner of Duval and Green, and he moved his bar called Sloppy Joe's into that spot.
Yes.
Right. Apparently, it's a quite famous place.
It is, yes.
I've not been there. I'm going to take everyone's word for it.
Yeah, that's iconic.
Another reason to go. So
you can go Don Lemon on New Year's.
Oh my gosh, yeah. What's the sushi where they get in this shoe and it descends in the high heel pump at Key West?
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically what I know of Key West, which looks like pretty exciting.
It is. That's
fun.
the best version of Key West.
Yeah, and the CNN correspondents at New Year's Eve, what we're talking about is like the it's a high heel shoe, right?
Yeah, they do. Instead of the ball dropping like in New York, it's a high heel.
Yeah, and it's a drag queen named Sushi who sits in it. And the CNN correspondents just get lit. They just are trashed.
Yeah, they do their best impressions of liquor bottles.
I love that. As someone who doesn't drink, I like watching them.
I like to watch.
So, young Joe Farto, he used to hang out at a fire station by his house, they lived kind of like right behind this fire station. And he would just pester the firefighters. He was firefighter obsessed, as kids are.
It's like John Wayne. That's how he got his name Duke.
Really?
Or his nickname Duke. It was the name of the fire dog in his hometown.
Well, that's, this is how Little Farto picked up his name.
Really? Firefighters just issuing out cool nicknames.
They are. I'm going to go hang out at a firehouse and see what they come up with.
Me too.
I'm kind of scared what they would come up with me.
Walk away with a mustache and a cool nickname.
Short shorts. So little Joe Farto, he'd be asking these firefighters, can I like hang out on your truck? Can I go for a ride with you? He'd ask them for money. Like, can I get some change to go buy candy? He'd ask them for candy. He's just always underfoot, Captain Underfoot. The firefighters started calling, like, get out of here, you bum. Mm-hmm. So then they started calling him Bum. And that's how he picked up this name, Bum.
He just started using it.
Everyone
He'd introduce himself.
Yeah.
Goes to 6th grade class. I'm Bum Farto.
The nickname stuck. They're like, oh, there goes Bum. Well, here's the thing. Bum Farto, at the age of 23, he becomes a volunteer firefighter. He gets in the door.
Well, he earned their respect. It took him a while.
He did a couple jobs beforehand. I think he had something to do with driving a hearse or something, whatever.
Oh.
Anyway, so he becomes a volunteer firefighter. 18 years later, in 1964, he's fire chief. He works his way up.
Look at that. Work that ladder.
He knew how to schmooze it. People loved him.
Bum Farto. Yeah.
Bum Farto. Come on now. And he did a lot of really good things as fire chief. He had like this arson ring. Like, I don't think they were connected, but there were all these arsons going on, and he managed to bust them all.
He busted the arsonist.
Somehow.
Nice.
And he modernized the department. He got him really good equipment. Okay. He did fire prevention training in town. He boosted morale. He recognized service of, the fellow firefighters. And the fire department was absolutely life to him. It was everything. Mm-hmm. So people loved his dedication. They also loved his crazy style.
Yeah, he fit in. He's very Key West.
Mm-hmm. When I described him, he was wearing all red, right?
Yeah.
That was an everyday thing for him. It wasn't just, that day that he got busted.
Yes.
He pretty much wore red or another really bright color. Mm-hmm. Never wore black.
Okay.
Wouldn't wear it.
I respect it.
His whole house decorated in red. And he wore all this gold jewelry.
Is it fire engine red, or is he doing different tones?
Yeah, no, it's like a deep fire engine red. He's wearing all this gold jewelry. He had his badge gold-plated and like encrusted with gems.
What?
Yeah,
he had a gem-encrusted shield?
Yeah, fire department is life, baby. Why did he wear red? Spiritual protection.
Oh, naturally.
Of course.
Santa Barbara.
You see, Bum Farto was a practitioner of Santeria.
I was close.
You were close with Santa Barbara. So Santeria, as you know, Santeria is a religion belief system originated in Cuba.
Mm-hmm. Not practiced by Bradley Hull of Sublime.
No, not at all. It doesn't have a crystal ball. It's a blend of Yoruba beliefs from West Africa, Catholicism, indigenous beliefs and practices, and Spiritism from Europe in the 1800s. There are many spirits. Mm-hmm. And they're spun mainly from the Yoruba religion, but they each get tied to a Roman Catholic saint. Yeah. And there's a creator deity, and the spirits and saints are all in service of this force, Olodumare.
Yep.
And practitioners make altars. They give offerings to the spirits, to the supreme force, primarily Afro-Caribbean, as you know. Mm-hmm. Bum Farto was of Spanish ancestry, but I think because of the proximity to Cuba and the Cubans kind of gave him entry into this belief system.
Okay.
So we're talking about Santa Barbara. He had the Santa Barbara sticker. In Santeria, Santa Barbara is known as Chungo.
Yes.
The fire spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big fan.
So as an arsonist, you're a big fan.
As a child arsonist.
So another thing that Bum Farto was passionate about was baseball.
Of course. It was fire and baseball. Mm-hmm. It's two great tastes.
And he managed to blend Santeria and baseball really effectively.
How does one do that?
Well, he managed a little league team.
Well, I'm thinking of that movie Major League Baseball where they have the guy who practices Jobu.
Yeah.
F you, Jobu.
You say, up your butt, Jobu.
Yeah, that's
the other guy. Major League is such a good movie, and Jobu plays a very important role.
So that's what I'm picturing right now when you talk
there
about this. Is Dennis Haysbert in a Cleveland uniform.
Before he became president in 24. So, and sold me insurance. So he Bum Farto managed a Little League team, and according to a bunch of different reports that I read, he would often light a red candle and place it on the bumper of El Jefe Mobile during games to try and get the spirits to guide the team to a win.
Yes, that's very Florida.
That's so amazing. So you hear the descriptions of this guy, you have to think maybe he's a little shady. I don't know. We're just a character.
He's bright, but yet somehow shady.
He's a little shady. He's much beloved in town, but he's also involved with some criminal elements, bad practices.
Not Bum Farto.
Bum Farto. Why? November 1968. So 4 years after he became fire chief, he was suspended on charges that he forged the signature of another firefighter on a check.
Oh.
Yeah. And that he forced those working under him to take out personal loans on his behalf.
Oh.
And that he took other people's per diems for himself.
Yikes.
Yeah. And then he just generally fudged the payroll books.
It's like, look, I'm not good with math.
He's,
I can't read my writing sometimes.
The spirits told him.
Is it an 8? Is it a 9? Who cares?
So he gets brought up in front of the city's civil service board.
Okay.
And the board hears the case, and they're just like, nah, whatever, let it go.
It's Bum Farto. It's fine.
It's a Bum Farto, and I'm only going to say his name full. It's like David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
You can only say Mr. David Lee Roth or David Lee Roth.
Yes.
You can't just call him Dave or Lee Roth.
Mr. Lee Roth.
So this is always Bum Farto. So the board is like, Bum Farto, whatever. Just you do you, baby.
Yeah.
And the evidence against him was really clear. And some people were a little surprised that the whole thing went away. But actually, most people weren't surprised. There were some, but most weren't surprised because the head of the board was a man named Waldo Valise. Waldo Valise was Bum Farto's nephew.
Boom, 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 and ding, ding, ding. I think we just found the explanation.
Bum, 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 and a farto. So the phony check incident isn't what got him arrested in your imagination exercise, Zaron.
Oh, what was it?
That went down in 1975.
Right. I was doing the disco check.
Yeah. So you're in the short shorts, strutting your stuff. When we come back from this break, I'm going to let you know what Bum Farto did to get tackled by the cops at 8 a.m. in front of his own house.
Please do.
Okay. So before I was so rudely interrupted,
Capitalism!
I was telling you about Bum Farto.
Yes, you were.
And he was the fire chief in Key West, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Key West had been a vital outpost for the U.S. Navy in the 50s and early 60s.
Yes, totally.
Right. Close to Cuba is the whole 90-mile thing. And therefore, because it's close to Cuba, it's by extension close to the Soviets, as close as we could get. By the mid-60s, the Navy started to pull out, and they took a huge part of the economy with them.
Yeah. Yep.
What business was really starting to expand in the 60s?
Drug dealing?
There you go.
Oh, was I serious? I got it? I was just going with what I know that was
Plastics
expanding.
and drugs. People couldn't live on fishing alone because that's like the huge thing is the fishing there.
Definitely. Great fishing.
Yeah. And so,
fishing tours, all the whole industry of tourism around it. It wasn't just like they're going out and catching fish and feeding America. It's more like...
You can't really survive on that the way they had been.
It's mercurial. You have to wait. Bad weather can doom you for a while. Yeah.
Exactly.
Lot of
so they
issues.
got all these boats, right? Put them to use.
Oh, and you know that what they happen to be close to?
Drugs. Las Drugas. So drugs are everywhere. Like
Yes,
literally, you're wading through cocaine. It's like snowdrifts on the city streets.
Is that dandruff? No, that's cocaine.
It's cocaine. Bum Farto knows everybody, right? And he's not averse to stepping outside of the law, as we've learned with his check issues. He's actually really cozy with the Tampa Mafia.
The Tampa Mafia sounds like...
I know, doesn't it sound like I'm making fun of it? No, but
they're in a show, please, like sunburns, short sleeves, and like broken noses, you know?
And broken dreams. The Tampa Mafia was a real thing, and he was close with the mob boss, Santo Trafficante.
Oh, the Trafficante family? They're legit.
Okay, so you were making fun.
Oh, yeah, no, they're legit. The Trafficante family. No, I will not.
Say it to their faces.
No.
So corruption is absolutely rampant, as you can probably guess. Drug trade, booming, big biz. One detective at the time noted that buying drugs in Key West was, quote, as easy as walking in and ordering a meal, and cocaine was as common as key lime pie.
But what was the price?
They made like a froth of cocaine for the top of the key lime pie to blend into the meringue.
The kids love the cocaine.
Oh, yeah. So one day, a local man named Titus Walters comes to Bum Farto. Titus had with him a man he said was his cousin named Larry Dollar.
That is not his real name.
It is, though. That's what's so wild. Yeah. So Larry Dollar. Larry
Dollar and Bum Farto walk into a bar.
He asks his new pal. Well, he goes up to Bum Farto and he's like, Bum, can I score some coke from you?
Just asks
Just,
him.
hey,
He's like, look, you're the local fire
how you
chief.
doing? Weather, it's a little humid. Can
Yeah.
I score some coke?
Love the glasses, and I'm betting you know where I get some cocaine.
Sure, says Bum Farto. Let me talk to my friend Manny James.
These
Manny
names.
James? Why, the stepson of Police Chief Winston James?
Yes.
The very same. You mean City Attorney Manny James? Yeah, that one. Oh, the Manny James who was also defense counsel for a bunch of drug runners? That Manny James?
Yes, you know him.
Yeah.
With the good cocaine.
Larry Dollar's all about it.
Yes.
He's like, you know what? Yes. He gives Bum Farto a gold and diamond pinky ring as payment for a couple ounces of coke.
Wow.
On the spot. The problem was that Manny James was on vacation in the Bahamas and Bum Farto couldn't get a hold of him. So Manny James is the plug, as you'd say.
Uh-huh.
And Bum Farto calls him up. Sorry, no, he's out. He's at Sandals. You know, he can't come back to you. He's learning how to play the steel drum. So he's trying to get a hold of Manny, can't get him. Larry Dollar, would call and be like, so where's my blow? And
I got a big party this weekend.
Yeah. He's like, I need to clear my sinuses. Bum Farto was like, I'm just, hold on. Give me a little time. I'm still working on it. Bum Farto, stalling. A couple weeks go by.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And Larry Dollar had enough.
He's like, I need my coke, man.
Yeah. He's like, I'm an addict. I need the cocaine.
The one problem with being a cocaine dealer is you have to deal with people who are cocaine users.
I would imagine. So he and Bum Farto meet up at the fire station where all the good drug deals go down.
Naturally, that's just the spot.
It's right next to City Hall, so it's super convenient.
And probably close to the cops. So.
Yeah. Bum Farto tells Larry Dollar, look, I am so sorry I don't have your coke. And as like a courtesy, as kind of like a fun thing I'm going to do for you, have this bag of weed to hold you over.
That's an odd choice. Like I know you wanted cocaine.
Please enjoy this complimentary sachet of marijuana in lieu of the cocaine to be delivered later.
I promised you a bottle of liquor. Here's some Quaaludes.
He's like, I told you I can get you drugs.
Yeah, like drugs are drugs.
Here's some drugs. And so,
Do you want the drogos or not?
Larry Dollar's like, all right, I'll take this weed. I'll take this smoke. They're using all I'll take the cabbage. All the
You got that good jazz cabbage?
He's like, this sticky broccoli will do for me right now. And then they're just all rolling their eyes at each other.
He actually coined the term the sticky icky.
He did. Larry Dollar and the sticky icky. So Bum Farto, he finally gets in touch with Manny James. And he's like, I need Tudor powder and I need it now. And so he gets it. And Bum Farto gets in touch with Larry Dollar. Meet me at the fire station.
Yes.
That's the drug spot. So Bum Farto brings a little taste of the yayo for Dollar, right? Dollar is impressed. He's like, this is really good. This is high quality. What is this? Like,
is he like doing like the rub it on his teeth move?
Probably.
Okay.
Oh yeah. He probably took a Swiss Army knife and stuck it in
cut the kilo like he's on
but it's
like
not
a
even,
top
it's like
show.
a baggie. He rubs it on his gums. They agree to meet one more time 2 days later to finish the deal. So Bum Farto just lets him taste it.
Oh.
Give it a little sniff. And he's like, oh yeah, this is really good. He's like, all right, well, meet me back here at the firehouse in 2 days. I don't get it. Now, the full amount of coke for the diamond pinky ring was the deal. Deal goes down. Everyone's happy. Larry Dollar is especially happy because Larry Dollar is actually DEA agent Larry Dollar.
Still his real name, though.
Yeah, and he's part of Operation Conch.
Yeah, wow.
Operation Conch was a joint effort between the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the Dade County Organized Crime Bureau, DEA up in there too, obviously. So a conch, it looks like conch written out, but the pronunciation is conch. A marine mollusk.
Yeah, the big, beautiful shell.
Yeah, those really gorgeous.
The nautilus shell most people think of.
And it's native to Key West.
Yeah.
That's why they gave it the name Operation Conch.
My family's a bunch of shell seekers, so we used to go to those beaches for those shells.
I like doing some beach combing myself.
Yeah, but I like how the military, or in this case, the DEA, when they name an operation, it's always like they're 2 steps below the people who name paint. It's like, oh, people name pantry like they're hungry and they're like, oh, this is going to be banana loaf. And then that's the name of the paint company. The military, it's like, what's my first word association?
Right. And sometimes they try and like tint it with something really tough.
Yeah.
Like,
Operation Condor.
Yeah, like Buff Eagle or something. Yeah. And then, or it's kind of silly, like Operation Rudy Tooty. Just like, what? Oh.
Operation Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity.
Because they're going to bust them at, what was that, a Denny's?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I think that I should be hired to name all the operations.
And I want to name paints. So between the two of us, we got a future.
Just putting it out there, everybody. I'm going to go on LinkedIn and let everyone know I'm available. Is that how LinkedIn works? It has something to do with LinkedIn? Jobs. I don't know. So we've got Operation Conch. Mm-hmm. For over a year, they'd been tracking a drug smuggling network in Key West that operated right under the coked up noses of local law enforcement.
Okay.
So
coked up noses.
Now, because of this and the understood corruption in Key West, the task force didn't tell the sheriff, didn't tell the police chief, didn't tell Manny, the city attorney, about the operations or the impending raid. Good, because the police chief is the father of the city attorney, who himself is the coke supplier.
Yeah.
So they knew they were doing a good thing here. Now, the goal of the whole thing was to clean up the city. They had their eyes on this group of dudes, a special group of them. Now, when they figured they had enough to take everyone down, they organized what they referred to as handcuff day. Cuffing season.
Bring your kids to work day, followed by handcuff day.
Well, in prep for it, they bring in this task force, a huge strike force from out of town.
Special jackets, the whole bit.
Oh, yeah. So here's the thing, though, is that like if you've got this whole group of physically fit men and they're coming into town and they have to get hotel rooms and rent cars. And for some reason, they didn't think they could just rent the rooms and just do their thing. They had to come up with a cover story. Because
they were worried that the town being so small, people would be like aware of them.
Yeah, like what are all these guys doing here? And instead of being like, mind your own business, they said...
Yeah, well, that's probably a smart move, actually.
Yeah, so they call up, they're like, hey, I need like 16 rooms. Sure. And then I'm also going to need 16 cars. And so the rooms, 2 men per room. And they're like, oh, well, so what are you guys doing here? He's like, karate tournament.
So Key West?
In Key West.
Like, it's just going to be somewhere else in Key West?
Somewhere.
You haven't heard about it?
It's a secret karate
tournament.
Going down
to Keith's place?
It's on the beach. It's like the scene from Karate Kid where he's like doing the crane thing on the beach. There's just like 30 dudes lined up doing that.
All with short haircuts, wearing short sleeve shirts and a tie.
Topless. Hello.
Wait, these are DEA people. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. When you're talking about a tie, so this karate tournament shows up and they're all in suits.
Yeah, exactly.
Like total black suits.
And at that time, they look, the FBI agents always kind of look like FBI agents. At that time,
cut.
Really, they look like it.
Oh, yeah. So they got all these guys that show up in suits for their karate tournament with weapons, I guess. It's the shotgun karate tournament. And then they rent all these cars. And so somehow they're able to keep this. Everyone bought the karate
Did they
story.
put an ad in the local Key West newspaper, like announcing like there's going to be this big karate thing?
See, now, if they had me on staff, I'm all about logistics and details. Yeah, so I'd be like, you guys, you can't go down there and let me just take out an ad and then I'll put it as like a day that doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's on like Saturday the 11th that we're going to have this karate tournament.
It's going to be at the Ramada room.
An address that doesn't exist. Yeah. It's kind of like on Law and Order when they have the address of the like that they go to when they put it on the screen. Most of them, if you look at it, I've been told, I haven't done it myself, that it's like in the middle of the river. It's not a real address.
Oh, so you like couldn't use it on like your direction. So.
Yeah. So if like 8th Street only goes up to the 1500 block, you say you're in the 2000 block.
Okay. So it's the equivalent of 555-283 being the phone number for or whatever.
Totally.
I'll start with 555.
So that's what they should have done, but they got away with it. So I'll allow it. So they show up at all the hotels. The morning of September 9th, 1975, 30 federal agents got into unmarked cars and proceeded to spend the next 5 hours or so arresting 19 dudes.
What about their karate?
They had to put, that's at nighttime. It's night karate.
Night karate.
They're like, we're here for the night karate tournament. The first guy they get, Bum Farto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Respect. Start at the top. Get to chief, work your way down.
You remember what he did when the agents jumped out of the unmarked car to arrest him, right?
Yeah, he threw the evidence apparently at them.
Well, he pulls off the diamond pinky ring that Larry Dollar gave him.
The one that's right. So I'm assuming that's like, I don't have it anymore.
I think, he figured if I give it back, then it's a refund. There wasn't a sale.
No deal.
Just take it.
Give backs. He
loved the pinky ring, though. It totally fit his style. So he lost, So while he was certainly the absolute flashiest, he was also the very bottom rung of this operation. He was super, super small time.
Oh, chief was not in charge.
No, they started at the bottom and then worked their way up arrest-wise that day.
Okay.
So they bust him on the weed and coke sales.
All right.
And then they also, when they raided his house, they found a couple sawed-off shotguns. So they got him on that.
Okay. Sawed-off shotguns?
Yeah. So Bum Farto and the other arrestees were all bailed out by this guy who was also arrested. The bail bondsman was arrested. He posted bail for all of them.
Did he do it from the jail cell?
Yeah. And then Bum Farto, he turns around and he hires a defense attorney, Manny James, who was also arrested that day. Now, somehow the charges against Manny James get dropped and he never goes to trial. Somehow. But Bum Farto, his trial is set for February 1976.
Okay, and these are federal cases he's going to be up. Okay.
So the night before it's all set to start, Bum Farto goes to see his family doctor.
Yeah, you want to get right before court.
Well, he tells the doctor, man, I'm in so much pain right now. It hurts.
Where does it hurt?
My tummy. Bum Farto said his tummy hurt.
Get out. He really did?
He did. He said his stomach was killing him. The doctor later was like, he came in, he looked real pale. He looked bad. Looked in a bad way. And he's, my tummy. And so the doctor diagnoses him with severe stomach ulcers.
Oh.
Yeah. Something that I think that Farto had in the past. But so the doctor...
Did the doctor write on the note he has tummy ulcers? Or did he write like stomach?
He was like bad tum-tum and then a frowny face. The doctor diagnoses him with the stomach ulcers. He prescribes really strong, like super strong antacids.
Okay.
And he tells him, you have to be admitted to the hospital. This is really, really bad tummy.
You can bleed out with ulcers.
You got a bad tummy, dude. Yeah. He's super understanding and supportive, don't you think? So if your name is Bum Farto, what hospital do you go to?
Oh, I'm going to not do well at this. I'm going to say the Slappy Pappy Home for Elder and Abandoned Fathers.
That's really close. Bum Farto was sent to the Depew Hospital.
You're making this stuff
no,
up.
I'm not.
I don't care what you tell me. You are making this stuff up.
I know I make stuff up all the time.
Hospital?
That's the name of the hospital in Key West. D-E, like capital D, lowercase e, capital P-O-O.
Oh, so it's like French.
It's Depew.
Depew. Or I guess probably more like Spanish.
Yeah, Depew. I am both lauded and derided for what one disgruntled listener termed me as dropping a gross out. I don't think this qualifies. This is just a truthful statement. Now, we're doing it in a very juvenile way.
Yes, Bum Farto had to be accepted to Depew Hospital for problems with his bad tum-tum.
He's got a bad tum-tum. So there's Bum Farto sitting in Depew. Why? This is custody. When this happened, were they like, someday this woman, Elizabeth Dutton, is going to tell this story and it's going to delight her. I didn't know I said so much gross stuff until I started doing this show. And it turns out I guess I do.
You learn something new every day, sometimes about yourself.
It's a lot of self-discovery that I'm going through here. So Bum Farto sitting in Depew. The DA's office sends over a doctor to examine Bum Farto, and they declared that he didn't have severe ulcers.
Wait a minute.
What? They're like, pop a couple Tums. See you in court.
Issues
your tum-tummies. No reason you can't go to court, my man. So the trial then actually starts. Bum Farto did not testify. Larry Dollar testified. Open and shut case. So much evidence. So the jury takes 30 minutes. And they convict Bum Farto on
They just wanted a lunch break.
So they're paying for our lunch. Yeah. Let's just get this now. So misdemeanor count, selling the weed. 2 felony counts for the selling of the coke.
Okay.
And then they were going to do the prosecution's pushing for the maximum sentence.
They didn't go for battery of an officer by throwing a diamond ring at him.
I know all these enhancements they could have had. They want 31 years for Bum Farto.
For a little bag of coke and some weed?
The one is the 1 year for the weed, but they want 15 years each for the cocaine charges.
Because he's now a distributor?
I suppose.
Damn.
I don't know. 1 week after the trial, and, Bum Farto's awaiting sentencing at this point. And he has another weapons charge
for the
hanging over the sawed-off shotguns.
Yeah.
So he's waiting on those. That's like in 2 months or something. He tells his wife, he's like, honey, I'm going to drive to Miami and see a friend of mine. I need to get out. I need the air.
Things have been tough lately. They took away all my sawed-off shotguns. I haven't been able to get blow from Manny James. It's been a tough time for me.
Mrs. Farto.
Dear Mrs. Farto.
Big Farto.
Love of my life, Mrs. Farto.
Her name is Tiny Farto. I don't know what her name is. That I made up.
That one you made up.
So he says, I got to go to Miami to see a friend. When we come back from this break, I'm going to tell you about Bum Farto's road trip. Zaron, how are you old so-and-so?
Oh, you're still here. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Elizabeth?
I've just been sitting here in the dark. The last time we were together here, I was telling you about Bum Farto.
Yes, you were.
Mm-hmm. Old Bum Farto, Key West fire chief, small-time, low-level drug dealer.
And fashion plate. Let's be real.
Incredible fashionista. According to the accounts that I've read, it seems like pretty much everyone in town was at least doing some low-level dealing or running. So he wasn't a standout in that way. Kids were selling bricks of hash at lemonade stands. Old ladies had hollowed-out copies of Reader's Digest filled with baggies of Coke. Small town living. Then there's Bum Farto, right? Mm-hmm. He's wearing these flashy red leisure suits, his rose-colored glasses. We cannot forget that he's wearing these pink-tinted lenses all the time.
It's all I've been picturing.
So amazing. Gold for days. Yes. These drippings. Selling Coke in the parking lot of the fire station.
I imagine he's the kind of guy who has like a gold bracelet, and then on the gold bracelet is a gold bracelet.
Yes. Gold on gold on gold. Yeah. We heard you like gold bracelets.
Yeah, how about?
Yeah. So can I just take a time out for a second to talk about the hit Fox TV show 911? Can I tell you that Bobby on the hit Fox TV show 911?
Yes, go on.
He may have killed his whole family in a fiery fit of drunken ineptitude. Spoiler alert.
Oh, the firefighter chief. Yes.
Yeah, but he would never sell Coke in the parking lot of whatever station number they are that floats all over Los Angeles.
Yeah, well, unless Angela Bassett needed him to sell the Coke, and then he'd be pushing that product like Pablo Escobar.
She would be so disappointed in him. She'd give him that side-eye pursed face.
Pursed lips?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Bobby wouldn't do that. Bum Farto, though, he's pushing small weight, gets busted.
He needs an Angela Bassett in his life.
Right? What's up, Mrs. Farto? Step up. She needs to just drive a police cruiser around and do busting on her own. So anyway, Bum Farto, back to 911. I went from someone who never watched TV.
Yes.
This is the damage of the pandemic
mm-hmm.
that I suddenly started. I was fascinated that this was a hit TV show. I'd never heard of it. And I started watching it, and then I was like, hate watching it, and now I love it.
Yeah.
What happened to me?
That's what happens with hate watching. It turns into love.
Now, I can't say the same. I still hate watch 9/11 Lone Star, whatever Rob
Lone Star, yeah.
But look at what I've been broken by the pandemic.
Or we can put it another way. You were broken, and in your broken places were filled in with gold.
The gold of 911.
Yes.
I'm really bummed that the season just ended. What am I going to do over the summer?
I don't even know. Call me when it's over.
Okay. So back to Bum Farto. Mm-hmm. He's cooling his heels, awaiting his fate. Maybe 31 years. Who's to say?
That's just so outrageous.
Yeah. So he's like, I got to let off some steam. I have to go to Miami. Yeah. Bienvenidos a Miami and see my friend.
Gas up the El Dorado.
Well, the problem is the El Dorado was a city car. The El Jefe mobile.
Right.
He doesn't have a car anymore.
Oh.
It's just sitting in an impound lot, I would imagine. Or they're painting it. Like he's standing there, one tear running down his face as he's watching them paint the car. Put it into what's the spray coat?
The spray
What's it called? Something coat. Anyway, I'm sure someone will send me a message about it. Anyway, so the El Jefe car, not his. So he rents a 1976 Pontiac Le Mans.
Oh,
which is
bad.
Exactly the car my grandpa had when I was little.
Wow.
A land yacht.
Yes, that's another big car.
Yeah. What color do you think the rental was?
Burgundy?
Close, red.
Darn, I was good.
He has to get a red car.
Yeah, I know.
So he tells his wife, look, just going up to Miami. I'll be back tonight. Off he goes. No luggage, just vibes. Heading to Miami.
It's the only way to go to Miami.
Yeah, of course.
Just vibes.
2 weeks go by. No Bum Farto.
Ooh.
Now, when I say no Bum Farto, it kind of sounds like someone trying to talk about their gastrointestinal distress in like a problematic, insensitive, geographically amorphous, choppy accent. I'm really sorry about that, but no Bum Farto. So people are starting to wonder where he is.
You sound like a pediatrician talking to like a parent who
no
doesn't
Bum
quite
Farto.
Understand. Yeah.
No Bum Farto.
If Bum Farto, come back
Or you
tomorrow.
go into the doctor, you're like, what's wrong? No Bum Farto. It's been weeks.
I'm backed up, Doc. I'm real backed up.
Gross outs right and left. People are starting to wonder, where's Bum Farto? Where's my Bum Farto? When asked about
Smell
it,
you later, Key West.
his wife was asked, like, well, where's Bum Farto, Lady Farto? Her answer was, it gets me too upset. I don't want to talk about it.
Wait, just mention of her husband?
Yeah, she said, I can't say anything. It gets me too upset.
Okay.
So I love that response.
Yeah,
that's my
good.
response for everything from now on.
Can't talk about pizza or sushi? I can't talk about it.
It gets me too upset. No Bum Farto. Pretty soon there's a manhunt underway. A Farto hunt. The cops are searching all over, high and low, and they come up empty. In the meanwhile, he gets convicted in absentia on the weapons charges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So 3 weeks after he left, the Le Mans was found.
Oh.
In Miami on Calle Ocho,
8th
Street in Little Havana. There it is. Covered in parking tickets.
Okay.
Just resplendent in parking tickets. And it looked like, based on the dates on the tickets, that he'd been parked there for at least 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah. Beyond that, though, they had nothing. Law enforcement had no idea where Bum Farto went.
So I'm guessing he cut and run and didn't get cut and then disappear. Like, he doesn't know enough to be taken out.
Well,
He's more of a silent but deadly Farto.
His silence was deadly. Everyone else, though, so the cops are like, where's Bum Farto? I don't know. Everyone else has ideas, like you.
Yes.
Coming up with ideas. So the Miami Herald, they interviewed a bunch of people in that June of 1976.
Okay.
And they asked them, what do you think? What do you think happened to Bum Farto? And these are solid gold, these responses. Okay. I'm going to do dramatic readings.
Please. I was hoping you would.
Yeah. So the first one, Charles Felton, he's a friend of Bum Farto's. And he says, I think Bum's alive. I just had that feeling. Faith and all that. He's a breezy fellow.
That's how faith works for him.
Yeah. And so then they talked to this local store clerk named Sue Ellen Gibson. And she says, most people think he was killed because the rest of them got away with it and they're still here. I think he just lost himself somewhere.
Very nice dramatic recreation.
Right? Yeah.
No, I could hear it.
Thank you so much. I'll accept my awards later. So then we get to Jennifer Smith. She says, he's back living it up in Cuba. He's back anywhere. Who knows? Who cares?
Your girl.
I love that. Is my who knows? Who cares? I love the phrase "who cares" so much.
You've taught me to enjoy it.
And I love it. He's back living it up in Cuba, honey. He never came from Cuba. Like, his family was from Spain. He was born here. He went back to Cuba or whatever. Jennifer, get your act together. Who cares?
Mrs. Smith.
Who cares? Get out of here. Then we got Tom DeBays, another guy who's interviewed. He says, I think he's wiped out because he knew too much. Probably dumped overboard from some shrimp boat, the old cement shoe thing. Either that or he's in Staten Island.
Okay, so we got a New York transplant in Key West.
Yeah, I guess.
I know how these things go.
Staten Island. First of all, the old cement shoe thing. I want to apologize for all of my accents right now, though. I'm not meaning
those were accents?
I'm like
Giving you
possessed.
plausible deniability. Go with it.
I'm just trying to inhabit these characters. I'm just trying to give them a rich life and experience. Okay?
Yeah, no,
All right?
They inhabited me with life.
I feel like everyone's going to get mad at me now for doing accents.
Do you want me to do worse accents? I can take some heat.
You put yourself in the firing line for me too often on these things. So, but yeah, Staten Island. Why Staten Island? Who knows? Who cares? Quite frankly.
You're getting good at this.
Yeah. David Johnson, a hotel maintenance and repairman, said, Bum Farto is definitely alive and well and living in Spain. I noticed one time Manny James walked in there with a T-shirt that said, Bum is alive and well in Spain.
Wow.
Right? He's alive and well. Because Manny James, according to David Johnson, is strutting around in a T-shirt that says, Bum is alive and well in Spain.
I get all of my news from novelty T-shirts. If I see it on a T-shirt, that's how I know what's going on in world events. So I saw the shirt.
You see this guy, it says, if you bought it, a trucker brought it. You're like, well, that's true.
It's true. It's 100% true.
So there are theories floating around about South America, Cuba, Spain, New York. Theories that he's dead. Theories that he's in witness protection. To this day, no one knows what happened to him.
Oh.
Who knows? Who cares?
Really?
Yeah, no one knows.
He managed to actually disappear.
Gone. Gonzers.
He's a disappearing Farto.
He just vanished.
Just poof, gone.
Just a puff of air. That mystery, though, drove an entire cottage industry for a while there in Key West.
What?
As speculation mounted as to the whereabouts of Bum Farto, novelty shops in Key West started selling T-shirts that read, Where is Bum Farto? So T-shirts, once again. June 1976, just a couple months after the disappearance, shops had sold more than 1,000 shirts.
I'm going to add this to my list of novelty shirts that I need to get. I have to have one of these.
Paul Taylor, one of the owners of these novelty shops, said, quote, people sometimes buy 5 or 6 of them at a time, like they're into some kind of group identity trip. It's probably kids who like to do a lot of coke. People have seen the T-shirts as far away as California. And then they get to Key West, they come in and ask for them. They come from New York and they say, listen, we were in Fire Island and people are talking about them. They'd seen them on TV too. Everyone can relate to a Bum Farto fire chief who was busted for cocaine and missing. It's kind of like a future Key West folklore.
Everyone can relate to. It's the most relatable thing ever. A fire chief named Bum Farto who disappeared after a cocaine bust.
I mean, what is more relatable?
How many times have we heard that story? Boy meets girl, boy loses girl. Bum Farto tries to sell cocaine, disappears. It's a story as old as time.
It's a trope at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a little stale.
The other day, I was watching a Columbo, and they had a Bum Farto riff that they were doing.
I hope they have it on 911.
I bet they will.
It's just the kids who like to do a lot of coke running the T-shirt business there. So the shirts get super popularized by none other than Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, the parrot head in chief?
Yeah, he was seen wearing one on stage. Mr. Buffet wearing a shirt.
Can I admit something to you?
Go ahead.
My grandparents sold Jimmy Buffett T-shirts in their store that was named after Key West.
Wow.
Yes. Key West Fragrances in Tampa, or actually it was in Clearwater. They had the store on the beach and they sold Jimmy Buffett T-shirts. And that's how I know who Jimmy Buffett was.
They sold Jimmy T-shirts to Jimmy Buffett?
No, they sold Jimmy Buffett made T-shirts. And this is like in the 80s. And it would be like a T-shirt from like Welcome to Margaritaville.
But then, so it's a T-shirt with a picture of him.
T-shirt, but like with like his artwork. And so it's all like cartoon style 80s.
I gotta, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, so first I thought they were selling T-shirts to Jimmy Buffett.
No.
Then I thought they were selling T-shirts with photos of Jimmy Buffett screened on them. No. So it's Jimmy Buffett creates T-shirts with his artwork on it.
Yes, around this time.
That smell like coconut oil.
Yes, and broken pop tops.
Oh, well, apparently Jimmy Buffett, you're the lifeblood of your grandparents' business. He wrote Bum Farto into a song lyric.
Oh, okay.
Now, my distaste for Mr. Buffett prohibited me from looking up that lyric.
Wait, you don't like Jimmy Buffett? Are we going to have a moment here?
Who knows? Who cares? Yeah, no, I can't stand him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Loathe.
Let me cancel that playlist.
I just can't take it. But I'll tell you, like, a strong Jimmy Buffett memory I have is that when I was little, like young, maybe like 10, our neighbors across the street had their friends over and they were all going to go to a Jimmy Buffett concert.
Okay.
And they were tying one on in the afternoon. And one
Very
of
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, and the friends are like middle-aged, right?
Oh, yeah,
They're
that's what I was
it's like
picturing.
the kids across the street, their parents.
Okay.
And so the lady there, the friend, was sitting, like, I'm riding my bike and she's in the driveway drinking with all her friends. And I was supposed to like water their plants or something while they were out getting hammered at the Jimmy Buffett
Pre-gaming
concert.
for Jimmy Buffett, yeah.
And the lady, I don't know her. And she says to me, she was like, come here. And I go up to her and she's
I know
like,
I won't buy you cigarettes,
she's
ma'am.
she's got like a Virginia Slims hanging
course.
out of her mouth. And she goes, I got to tell you something. You know what the best cure for a hangover is?
She says
And
this
I'm
to a
just like,
child.
yeah. And I'm flatlining, staring at her. She's like, a tuna sandwich, French fries, and a chocolate milkshake. But you got to dip the fries in the milkshake. But it's got to be a tuna sandwich.
She's telling you this.
I didn't. Now, I am a very polite person, no matter what I think about them. Like, I can't help myself. I didn't say a word. I just turned, got on my bike, and rode away. And so
I hope this adult remembers that story too.
I don't think she remembers
Yeah,
much.
I don't think so.
And so anytime I hear about Jimmy Buffett, I think of that. And then I start thinking about tuna sandwiches. And I'm like, you know what? I like tuna sandwiches. Don't really like Jimmy Buffett.
Have you ever dipped the fries in the shake though?
No.
I've got friends who swear by that.
I bet.
I also have friends who swear by Jimmy Buffett, so don't
So
listen
there you
to them.
go. Anyway, who knows? Who cares? To quote Jennifer Smith. What Zaron is your ridiculous takeaway here?
Oh, man.
In this wealth of ridiculousness that we've waded through, like the drifts of cocaine on the streets of Key West.
I would say my ridiculous takeaway is if you're named Bum Farto and you have a wife and she's willing to take your last name, treat her right, or when you disappear, she will not care and not want to talk about it.
I think if you're named Bum Farto, that is a promise you're making to the world, and
Yes.
you have to come through.
You got to live up on that.
He came through.
Oh, he very, very much did. As somebody with a strange name, he's up in the pantheon of strange name people.
He's fulfilling the contract.
Yeah, no, definitely.
The social contract with the crazy name. I know I've said this a lot lately, but you got to love a good character.
No.
Yeah. I mean, wacky characters in authentic ways.
Yes. Not trying hard. They just are that.
Yeah. Because I feel like right now we get a lot of people who are being quirky or eccentric in kind of a put on way. It's intentional and precious.
Yeah, it's theatrical and performative, and it's meant for you, not for them.
Right. I like people who are just strange and they can't help it.
Yes.
Who knows who cares, right? And they're not apologetic about it, but they're also not trying to like get attention. And yeah. So wearing red, having an all red house.
Yes.
That's really rad and weird. I like it. The man's named Bum Farto. He didn't care.
No,
he could have
he-
changed his name. No, he
he
doesn't
rolls
give a
with it.
damn. I like that kind of organic weirdness. True presentation of goofy.
You could say it gasses you up.
Well, and it's it's so steamy. Quirky behavior and lifestyles now are too attached to pre-manufactured and commercial things.
Yes.
That's
completely.
my statement, my takeaway. A book series or a film franchise isn't a personality. I'm going off into my own screed right
You're
now.
going hard in the paint on this one, huh?
But that's like doesn't make you an outsider. That's a mainstream thing. An outsider is Bum Farto, dressed in red, selling coke at a fire station,
to the city
fulfilling
attorney.
the prophecy of his name.
That he got from the city attorney.
Yeah, exactly. Get back to me when you're named for a bodily function and you flex on spirits at a Little League game. Just bring it. Bring it, Bum Farto. That's my takeaway.
I like that he's willing to ask for the protection of the spirits for Little League, not for like the national game, not for like this local team
It's
like
the
winning.
purity, the pure
He's like,
essence of the sport.
The kids, they know. They need to know.
Exactly.
The spirits have their back.
That's all I have. I'm all
Well, that was good.
Bum
My cup
fartoed
is
out.
full. Like,
your cup overfloweth with Bum Farto. That's it. You can find us online at Ridiculous Crime on both Twitter and Instagram. If you have a tip for us about a ridiculous crime, confession, email us, ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. And then tune in next time. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett, produced and edited by undercover parrot head Dave Kustin. Research is by senior arson investigator Marissa Brown. The theme song is by Sawed-Off Shotgun Smithies, Thomas Lee, and Travis Dutton. Executive producers are key lime pie aficionados Ben Bolin and Noel Brown.
Ridiculous crime. Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.